Ready?
What could possibly go wrong?
Everything.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 anticipated but disappointing movies.
This is the guy that gave the key to the city to?
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
For this list, we'll be looking at major releases that premiered to lots of excitement, but for whatever reason, failed to meet audience expectations. Did your biggest cinematic letdown make our list? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20, The Lion King. However you may feel about Disney's string of live-action remakes, 2019's The Lion King really does stretch the term live-action to its limit.
Long live the king!
Featuring animal graphics that are at once stunningly detailed and completely devoid of any distinctive character or emotion, the movie was a big letdown for fans and critics. Still, you wouldn't know it from the box office. The Lion King went on to gross over $1.6 billion worldwide, despite having only a 52% critical rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Even original composer Elton John was left wanting more, saying the magic and joy were lost in the retelling. At least we got a Beyoncé album out of it. Number 19, The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies.
Is that your child? You cannot save him from the fire. He will burn.
Peter Jackson's announcement that he would be following up his acclaimed Lord of the Rings trilogy with an adaptation of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit was massive news for fans. His decision to split the relatively small book into 3 separate, nearly 3-hour epics was a head-scratcher. But still, anticipation for a return to Middle-earth was high. While none of the Hobbit movies bombed, Five Armies was described by critics as an overlong battle scene that was thin on plot, character, and style, and heavy on less than convincing CGI effects.
We have company. Goblin mercenaries. No more than 100. We'll take care of them. Go! Go!
It was such a step down in quality from The Lord of the Rings that it's hard to believe that much of the same creative team was behind it. Number 18, Tron Legacy. The 1982 sci-fi adventure cult classic was renowned for its groundbreaking visual effects. When the trailer dropped for Tron Legacy nearly 30 years later, it promised even more jaw-dropping sights and sounds.
They're turning around.
Not by choice. Their vehicles aren't designed to go off-grid. They'll malfunction on this terrain.
What about us?
Obviously not.
Although no one can deny the movie looks amazing, it received a lukewarm response. While the original managed to give as much attention to its human elements as its innovative special effects, Legacy was maligned for its unconvincing performances. That's not to say Tron Legacy doesn't have passionate fans of its own. Maybe the Tron franchise is just destined to be a cult phenomenon.
There is our victory! Out there is our destiny.
Number 17, Thor: Love and Thunder. Marvel's Phase 4 has been hit or miss with a lot of fans. In 2022, Thor: Love and Thunder joined the underwhelming Eternals as one of the lowest scoring Marvel movies on Rotten Tomatoes.
Either die a grismal death or they dump you with a handwritten letter. I don't know which is worse, but it's why I keep everyone at arm's length.
While Love and Thunder was funny enough, it failed to soar to the height of the Nordic god's previous outing, Thor: Ragnarok. Critics were quick to praise its ensemble of performers, but cited an underwritten screenplay, bizarre tone shifts, and lackluster visual effects as its weak points. Needless to say, Marvel fans and casual audiences alike expected a lot more from this one.
That is not coming off. What did you do?
She looked boring before.
Yeah, I suppose it did. I love it.
Number 16, Godzilla. It took over 40 years for the iconic screen monster to make the voyage from Japan to Hollywood. Judging by what they got, fans probably would have waited a little longer.
We smell like the fish.
I think we should leave now.
I think that's a good idea.
The 1998 Godzilla movie upset longtime fans before it was even released. When news leaked that director and co-writer Roland Emmerich had scrapped the title monster's fire breath, fans were outraged. Things only got worse when they saw the finished product. Critics and audiences alike hated the movie.
Cut up the west side.
No, what are you crazy? Take the FDR!
Please, the FDR in the rain?
Be a map. He's getting Roger!
Although the effects were not necessarily bad, the design of the monster was considered one of the movie's greatest sins, eschewing the original design and intentions of the monster for something way less interesting or scary. Number 15, SpiderMan III. Legendary in its badness, Sam Raimi's inexplicable follow-up to his first 2 stellar movies in the series finds Spider-Man infected by an extraterrestrial creature that effectively turns him into bad Spider-Man.
Rand, not now.
Listen, it's a free country. It's not rent-free country.
Leave me alone.
Give me rent.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
There's a lot more to the movie than that, but that's what everyone remembers, and with good reason. Needless to say, the world just wasn't ready for Tobey Maguire's emo-fied Peter Parker strutting down the street and dancing across a stunned jazz club.
Now take all this.
Director Sam Raimi would go on record as saying it was an awful movie. It's not all bad though. Spider-Man 3 memes still keep us laughing to this day. Number 14, The Matrix Revolutions.
Soon he will spread through the city as he spread through the Matrix. You cannot stop him. But I can.
The Wachowskis' philosophically minded sci-fi fantasy series is hit or miss for a lot of people. It's the kind of things where if you get it, you get it. But even the ones who get it found The Matrix Revolutions a little lacking. The third Matrix installment is often called the worst in the series. Without a satisfying resolution to what was then a trilogy, many critics and fans found it failed to close its myriad plot holes, offered nothing new or innovative in special effects, and that its screenplay and performances were not nearly as good as they had been in the previous installments.
Illusions, Mr. Anderson, vagaries of perception. Temporary constructs of a feeble human intellect trying desperately to justify an existence that is without meaning or purpose.
Number 13, Hellboy. Guillermo del Toro's 2004 film version of the Dark Horse comic character has since become a classic of the genre. This 2019 reboot makes it look like a veritable masterpiece. High on violence and low on virtually everything else, Hellboy suffers from a serious lack of imagination.
I thought you guys disbanded after the war.
And I thought we were supposed to be fighting monsters, not working with them.
Who you calling monster, pal? You look in the mirror recently, Scarface?
Is that meant to be humor?
Maybe. My therapist does say that I rely on jokes as a way to normalize.
Although Stranger Things star David Harbour received some good notices for his performance as the titular half-demon superhero, it just goes to show that given similar material, two different filmmakers can create two wildly different movies. This one was so bad that in February 2023, Millennium Media announced they were rebooting their own reboot.
An electrochemical reaction to pain and emotional... I'm sorry to say, it's a bit more complicated than...
Welcome to the BPRD. Yeah, come on, let's do this.
Number 12, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Follow the lines in the earth only gods can read, which lead to Oriana's cradle, guarded by the living dead.
Look, we love evil Cate Blanchett as much as anyone else, but when audiences heard that Indiana Jones was getting another sequel, we didn't expect flying saucers. Even the attempt to infuse a modern-day star into the mix felt rote, with Shia LaBeouf coming on board as Jones's long-lost son. This twist was a bomb that not even a fridge could save.
He's your son.
My son?
Henry Jones III.
Why the hell didn't you make him finish school?
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull may be way more entertaining than it has any right to be, but it still serves up multiple jumping the shark moments, or should we say, nuking the fridge moments. Number 11, X-Men Origins Wolverine. While the role made Hugh Jackman a household name, his fourth appearance as the clawed mutant superhero leaves him adrift in a sea of cliches, plot holes, and uninspired visual design.
I come with you. I'm coming for blood. No law. No code of conduct. You point me in the right direction, you get the hell out of my way.
After the lackluster offering that was The Last Stand, X-Men fans were ready to be wowed by the first solo Wolverine adventure. Leaked work prints and an extensive marketing ramp-up to the premiere only added to the hype. However, fans were deeply disappointed by the movie's all-encompassing mediocrity. Deadpool actor Ryan Reynolds saw early on that the writing was on the wall, as he was not a fan of how the script treated his character.
I remember telling one of the studio execs, I said, "You guys are people are gonna go nuts over this," and he was like, "I know, right?" And I was like, "No, not in a good way."
No, nuts.
No,
people went insane.
The Deadpool character, you can't do this to the Deadpool character.
Even Jackman himself thought his first solo outing as the character was not what he hoped. Number 10, Red Notice.
I'll give you one last chance to take me up on my offer.
Well, here's my counteroffer. You're under arrest.
Oh my God. Read the room.
Billed as a marriage between Ocean's 11 and Raiders of the Lost Ark, critics and audiences were surprised that Red Notice was not better. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot headline this heist comedy that sounds like the start of a bad joke. Two agents and an art thief walk into a bar. Unfortunately, the three stars don't really have that much chemistry.
Do you love me?
Big time.
That's all we need.
What are we stealing?
This.
The movie's not incompetent, but with this much star power and money attached, it should be so much better. Then again, if star power were enough, the Imagine video might have gotten a warmer reception.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
Number 9. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
You don't understand. There's no time. I understand.
No matter how much money they make, DC seems to struggle to keep pace with Marvel's blockbusting cinematic universe. Following the disappointment Man of Steel, director Zack Snyder's 2016 superhero mashup, Batman v Superman didn't electrify the critics or audiences. Most talked about, though, may have been Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Lex Luthor.
I don't know! I would not let them tell me. Now, if you kill me, Martha dies. And if you fly away, Martha also dies. But if you kill the bat, Martha lives.
Eisenberg was lambasted for his performance, particularly because fans disliked how similar it was to Heath Ledger's Oscar-winning performance as the Joker. Batman v Superman went on to gross over $800 million internationally, despite the cold reception it received from fans of either hero. It couldn't reach $1 billion, though, which is telling.
Why did you say that name? Martha, why did you say that name?
Stop! Please, stop!
Why did you say that name?
Number 8. The Dark Tower. Stephen King's series of epic fantasy western novels have been called unfilmable. 2017's The Dark Tower didn't do much to disprove that theory.
Because nothing is there. It's all a lie.
Good help.
Been there. Now burn.
It's unfortunate because Idris Elba is a strong choice for Roland of Gilead, but the gunslinger is left hanging by an overstuffed story that does little to appease fans of the books or gain new ones. Instead of sticking to the philosophical themes of the original Stephen King novels, the movie settles for technically impressive but pretty standard action sequences that make it look like any other modern blockbuster.
Your soft-skinned mother. Your gunslinger friend.
Face me.
Your whimpering excuse for a dad.
Stop hiding behind your magic and face me, Walter!
While talk of a potential sequel seems to have stalled, fans hold out hope that the gunslinger will get another shot at the big screen. Number 7. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Few movie series capture the spirit of the 2000s like Transformers. It catapulted its two stars, Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, to superstar status, and due to its second entry, became a symbol for everything that was wrong with the pre-Marvel blockbuster movie.
You didn't have to put your tongue in her mouth. I didn't. You did. Look, you ever had your stomach tongued by a mountain ox with a 5-foot tongue? It's not fun for me, okay, Michaela?
Even critics like Roger Ebert, who gave the first movie a good review, trashed Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen for how long and nonsensical it was. There was also controversy about the characters of Mudflap and Skids, whom audiences and critics felt were racist caricatures.
I'll screw that up. I'm okay. I'm alright. This is combat, man. Oh, brain freeze, man. What's wrong with you?
Director Michael Bay would blame the movie's failure on the writer's strike of 2007 to 2008, but the script was only just one part of what made this one unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. Number 6. Alien 3. Directed by the soon-to-be legendary David Fincher, Alien 3 continues the story of Lieutenant Ellen Ripley's battle against the terrifying xenomorph species.
It won't go far. It'll nest in this area. Right around here.
Taking place on a penal colony in space, the movie was considerably bleaker than the last installment. The movie lost a lot of fans right away, as it was quickly revealed that beloved characters Newt and Hicks actually did not survive long past the events of the previous movie Aliens. That's not to say that the third installment doesn't have its share of defenders, although it does pale in comparison to the first two. It was a tough act to follow.
What guarantee do I have? Once you've taken it out, you'll destroy it.
Number 5. Suicide Squad.
Pardon?
Listen, you are my guests to this handsome hunka.
A lot was riding on this DC offering, as it was a follow-up to the underwhelming Batman v Superman. The hype reached new levels as behind-the-scenes stories about Jared Leto's interpretation of method acting grabbed headlines.
Whenever I met Jared, he never broke character, so I would say, "Hi, I'm Karen Fukuhara, nice to meet you, I'm Katana," and then he would come at me with, "Hi, pretty."
Co-star Viola Davis stated that the actor had a dead pig delivered to a rehearsal, and sent Margot Robbie, who played Harley Quinn, a live black rat. Audiences were not as shocked by Leto's commitment to the role as they were at how little his Joker is actually featured in the movie.
Helped you.
You helped me by erasing my mind what hated memories I had.
Some viewers thought it was a refreshing break from the standard superhero formula, and while it was a box office success, Suicide Squad's audience did drop off once fans realized it wasn't what they expected. Number 4. The Godfather Part 3. Like Alien 3, Francis Ford Coppola's sequel followed two movies that are generally considered masterpieces. That it failed to live up to expectations is not so surprising, but the drop-off in quality still frustrates fans to this day.
You can't be doing this alone.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Coppola's daughter, Sophia, would become an incredible director, but her performance as Mary Corleone does leave something to be desired. Critics and audiences were not exactly kind in pointing that out either.
What is this really for? Why are you doing this?
Her casting became symbolic of unchecked Hollywood nepotism. Part 3 follows Al Pacino's Michael Corleone as a middle-aged man, far removed from the heyday of organized crime and haunted by his past deeds.
I ordered the death of my brother. He injured me. I killed my mother's son.
Audiences expecting the violence of the first two films were probably less than prepared for this more introspective and philosophical story. Number 3, Star Wars Episode I: The Phantom Menace. Fans waited nearly 20 years for a follow-up to George Lucas's legendary space opera trilogy. In comparison, The Phantom Menace was a bit of a letdown.
Let's split up. Stow aboard separate ships and meet down on the planet.
You were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short.
Although it has a few iconic costumes and a memorable villain in Darth Maul, Episode 1 does occupy a polarizing space in the Star Wars franchise. Depending on who you talk to, it's either a low point for the series or not nearly as bad as everyone says it is. Still, there's no denying that the movie serves up some awkward performances from talented actors, wonky writing, and commits perhaps the greatest sin of all. It introduced the world to Jar Jar Binks, a character that not even Phantom Menace apologists seemed all that eager to defend.
Boy, I love you.
You almost got us killed. Are you brainless?
I speak.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. Now get out of here.
No, Mrs. Stay.
Number 2, Fantastic Four. After the disastrously goofy 2005 attempt at bringing this comic book quartet to the big screen, fans were eager to see a movie that took the story seriously.
They're not powers. They're aggressively abnormal physical conditions that we're gonna fix. Can you turn that off?
And what if they can't? What if it takes more time to get it right? We could be talking years.
I am not going to be a tool.
As the MCU was in full swing and superhero movies were made with greater care and craft than ever before, hopes were high for this new version. Sadly, history repeated itself. The script felt more like a long build-up to a sequel than a story all its own, and its gloomy visuals were just downright depressing to look at. 2015's Fantastic Four reboot made a 180 from the last version. Instead, it veered too dark, too cynical, and too serious.
Victor, don't do this!
There is no victor. There is only doom.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, The Last Airbender. Avatar: The Last Airbender is a series known for its distinctive animation, incredible story, and ability to touch on meaningful topics that are rarely given their due in TV shows aimed at young people.
100 years of fighting has left the world scarred and divided. But with the Avatar's help, we can get it back on the right path and begin a new era of love and peace.
However, all that changed when M. Night Shyamalan attacked. By attacked, we mean directed this woeful adaptation of the beloved children's series. And yes, to a lot of us, it did feel like a personal attack. It's almost impressive to see so much of what makes a story great get lost in translation. If there were a special Oscar for wasting an opportunity, this movie would have won it.
They want you to be their avatar. We all do.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.